let's talk a little bit about Christ-centered solutions, can we?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Because as I said, you're one of our board members, and you were a board member from the beginning. Christ-centered solutions will be 2 years old come August 1st.
Wonderful.
And a lot of work has been done, but there's a lot of work still that still needs to be done. But let me talk to you as a pastor rather than a board member first, okay?
Okay.
And so, as a pastor, what are your thoughts about Christ-centered solutions or ministries like Christ-centered solutions, and how they might be helpful to the local church?
Well, I know this. Your passion is counseling. Um, I'm okay on a good day at counseling. Um, if someone walks in my office and I've dealt with some things before, or it's pretty obvious what the answer is, I'm good. But if I've got to dig deep and work with someone over a long period of time, um, Jesus may come again before I can figure out what goes on. And what I need as a pastor is I need somewhere to go as a resource to sit there and say, I know someone who can help you in this, and find things and give you treatments or options that I wouldn't even think of. And that's where I think Christ-centered solutions is wonderful for. Um, Plus, I'll tell you, I trust Christ-centered solutions so much. I sent my daughter to you guys 4 years ago for marriage counseling,
You sure
and
did.
she still talks about that. I'm dad, and I was her pastor, but uh, she needed to get ask hard questions about going into marriage forever, and you did that for her. And I think I've sent other people to you for the very same reason. Is I'm not equipped, and I love to preach. I have a passion for teaching, um, but in the counseling area, I would like to be good at it. I've just got to realize I've got limitations, and I don't want someone to come into my office and I have limitations on what they need. And so, as far as I'm concerned, it's a great resource.
Well, I appreciate you saying that as a pastor and as a board member, as a friend too. I mean, that's I don't want anyone watching
My
this.
daughter loves you.
I love your daughter too, and your son-in-law. They were fun, because well, they was it you?
You asked them some hard questions, and you asked them questions I would never have thought of. In fact, you did something. You gave me two letters to give them.
Right.
And, there's been times I've almost taken the second one out. I haven't taken it out yet. Um,
You want to
but
tell them about the letters?
no, they don't know yet. So it's still in my safe at my house.
Right.
But when they were trying to work through, having a baby for the first time, and some of the issues that came up, and just other things in their lives that was going on at the same time, I thought this might be a good time to pull that out. But I've decided to wait on that. But you made me think different, even on how to do that. So
Thank you.
I appreciate the fact that you come from a different perspective, and you ask questions I wouldn't think of, and I'm glad there's someone like you out there that does that.
Well, I appreciate that, Al. The One of the things that I hope that we can do is that I think you are equipped. You're probably a much better biblical counselor than you realize. But pastors have really limits placed upon them because of all the other needs in the church,
Exactly.
particularly with a church like yours right now that is primarily an elderly church. And so there are lots of other things that you're committed to, and that's one of the things that we hope to help with. You mentioned the letters. I think it's funny. I tell pastors this. I don't always tell the couple in premarital counseling until after the fact. But one of the things I try to do in the first 5 or 6 hours of counseling, and I have about 12 to 13 hours that I require, and that is I try to talk them out of getting married. And because if I can talk them out of getting married, they don't need to get married. They're not ready for it. And then the letters, I have them in the last session write a love letter to the other person, um, to their spouse to be, and seal it up, and that goes out after their first anniversary, sometime after. And then there's the second letter, which when they hit a rough spot, which can be anywhere from 6 months to 10 years, you can send it out. I trust these letters to one or both of the parents. And that letter is one that they've written to themselves on reminding them why they love this person, why they wanted to get married. And so that's really what's in the letters. One is to their spouse, one is to themselves. And hopefully, because we all need that. Don't I think for me, I've been married for 37 years, and Teresa and I dated for 2 years before that. And I mean, we've known each other over half our lives, right? And I would love to have the Rod that was in his 20s remind the Rod today
Right.
they got married, right? Why he loved this woman. And so I think it's a good thing, and I'm glad you brought that up. I appreciate that. So again, looking ahead with this whole COVID pandemic, again, what role do you think we might play, Christ-centered solutions? Because now I also have another counselor, biblical counselor, serving with me. I don't know if you knew that or not, but yeah, that it just recently happened. But we needed a female, and so she is meeting or available to meet with folks online like this. But going forward, post-pandemic, hopefully, what do you see for Christ-centered solutions? What role might we play in helping the local church?
Well, we've mentioned some of it already. We've mentioned being a resource for everything from marriage, struggles in a marriage, working with. Well, I'll give it. I was at a funeral 2 days ago, Saturday. 27-year-old died of a drug overdose.
Oh, wow.
And didn't do it, but was the son of a close friend. And so, and I'm just looking as folks got up to speak about him, and just saying, how many of even these folks that got up to speak, not just the young man that had passed, if they had someone like you in Christ-centered solutions to help them through their addictions, and this guy had been raised in the church. So it's not just because you're out of the church this thing happens. It happens
right.
to folks in the church all the time.
And that's our focus on the believer.
And I'm gonna tell you, even in my church, which has older folks, they need places to turn for their grandkids and their sons and daughters and those kind of things, because a lot of the older generation, you just kind of swept it under the rug and put it aside, didn't deal with it, or gave it to your pastor. And this is an incredible resource for us and for them. Plus you're looking to help. You said come along pastors after this.
Right.
You know, maybe it gives us a whole different way to look at church now. Church just in Sunday morning. You know, we're having to get out. We realize how much we need each other, and maybe folks like you come alongside, and we'll even give you Sunday morning to talk about issues that the church is dealing with. Because I think we're looking at the world through a whole different lens now than we did before.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I mean, church in the building. We're finding that if you're meeting in cars, if you're meeting online, if you're meeting in, you can go back to meeting in homes or whatever. Um, we still have to deal with issues, and somebody's got to be out there that can help us do that.
Yeah, they're not going to go away, are they?
No, they might get amplified just a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that's really is what's going to happen as we move forward. We're going to see um, how these issues may have been small issues before the pandemic, but because of losing jobs and staying at home and being quarantined for long periods of time,
Right.
we're going to see these things spiral out of control even more.
I mean, we don't even have, think about it, you don't even have, um, uh, things that we used to use to get away, whether it's watching a football game,
Right.
going to a football game, uh, you know, going out to eat, a lot of those signs, going to a movie. We're not even doing that right now.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of, you're looking at a face you love, but you're looking at them all day long and all night long. And sometimes we need breaks, and we need to know how to handle things. And we're social creatures, and we don't know how, and when all of a sudden life just comes up and says, watch these changes go on, and you don't know how to handle them. I think it's people like you that can come up and give us some tools to do that.
Well, I hope to. I really do. Hey, Al, I appreciate you speaking with me today and making this recording, and I hope pastors and church leaders are blessed by it. And I also hope that they'll call. You talked about me speaking at churches, and be it online today or through something like this where we get online and Zoom together. I would love to do that because one of the four parts to the Christ-centered Solutions ministry is helping pastors. Pastors are struggling today, and so we're seeing a rise in burnout. We're seeing a rise in suicides among pastors. I mean, we saw one recently here connected to Charleston just a couple of months ago. High-profile pastor or pastor, someone who was on staff, former pastor, and we just want to help and help the body of Christ to heal and to live and to function in a way that brings glory and honor to Him, and that helps individuals. So,
and if I could say something to pastors, I think talking to guys like you are important. You're my personal friend, so we do a number of things together. But we've also had conversations where this has so changed just my ministry. I come in the office now, and by 12, 1 o'clock, I'm doing the rest of my work at home. I can't go to the hospitals right now. I can't go to a nursing home or assisted living. I can't go to people's homes. And, I can get on the phone, but everything that made my ministry is right now has been put up, has been laid aside. And
right.
So you're trying to figure out, what can I do? Am I earning my keep? Am I, should, I'm thinking about getting paid and those kind of things. And God's been faithful in our finances and that kind of thing. And even as I get older, and I start thinking about things like retirement, you're kind of thinking, am I done with ministry? And dealing with issues in the church. So I think Christ-centered Solutions can help pastors just dealing with their own issues, not just with dealing with with helping folks in the church find a resource. We need resources,
right?
And so because this pandemic has shut down ministries and shut down churches, and so we're trying to navigate our way through this thing.
Absolutely. Well, listen, if you're a pastor or a church leader and you've made it to this point in this video, God bless you. We're probably not the most exciting thing to listen to on any given afternoon, but we appreciate you watching. And I want to invite you to one of my informational meetings online on Zoom. It's called the How, What, and Why of CCS. It's where we share the ministry with you and the 4 parts to the ministry, what we try to carry out. And so if you'd like to be a part of one of those next meetings, please email me. You can reach me at rod@rod-west.net or rwest@christcentersolutions.org. And I would love to have you sit in and to share the ministry with you and how we might be able to help you in your congregation. Hey, Al, thanks a lot, bud. I really
Take care, my friend.
Okay, and take care of that family, will you?
Not a problem.
Give them our best.
I'll do it.
All right, man. Bye.
Bye-bye.